it is Nikki. Welcome back to the channel, and you need to be quiet, Reggie. The puppy might be a problem. Hey all, it is Nikki. Welcome back to the channel and to spring. Time to assess my winter writing success or not success and to make some spring writing goals. So I do not want to toot my own horn, so I will just give all praise to God for this because it all belongs to him. But I feel like this winter was actually really successful. I mean, as I was thinking about this vid, I couldn't remember all of the goals that I had made for the winter, so I had to go back and watch the video again. I just feel like I was able to knock a lot of them off the list. I felt like I've been really productive writing-wise in the past couple months, although maybe I am getting it sort of mixed up with my 2022 writing goals video, which you can find over here. So why was this winter so productive? I think that school is a huge part of it because it just set the whole tone. Last fall, I did not really have a very productive quarter, and I think that was a lot to do with some writing heavy courses, whereas this semester, all my courses seem to be more reading heavy and not as writing heavy, so it means I don't have a ton of assignments to get done. I still have some, but it's a manageable amount and it's allowed me to get a lot of writing done even during school. And maybe I've just been a little more disciplined or more inspired in general. The inspiration has really been flowing for this part of my current project, and that definitely helps you to make time for writing. Also, if there are any banging or whining sounds at any point in this video, just apologies in advance. Our golden mountain doodle, Reggie, has been with us for a little less than a week, and she's doing pretty well. I mean, the first few days were a little rough. She was very anxious. She seems to be settling in and adjusting, just sometimes she can be a little bit vocal in her crate. It probably won't be a problem right now because I'm in the room with her, but if it is, you've been warned. Also, if I look or sound completely exhausted at all, that's because Reggie. She's worth it. But anywho, what happened this winter? Go. If you want to see the full video for my winter goals, you can check that out right here, but I'm just going to give a little recap of how each of my goals went before I launch into my spring goals. Goal number 1 for this winter was to finish part 3 of Operation Fantasy Revamp, which is my epic fantasy project. It's a huge chunk of story, and I knew that going into it, which is why I am just so thrilled that I've been able to get as far as I have. I am so close, guys. It is March 21st today, which I think is either the first day of spring or the last day of winter. I can never remember that, but the point is, I'm technically out of time and I only have a couple scenes to finish up part 3. I am going to go ahead and give myself a little bit of a buffer because I feel like when I made this goal, I had it in my head that I had all of March to finish it, and I'm so close. I did not expect to make it this far. It makes me want to just be a little bit soft on myself and say maybe I'll give myself until, if not the end of March, then the end of this week. I know it's sort of stretching the rules, but I'm gonna give myself this one. Number 2 was not super concrete, but it was just to consider, think about beta readers for my YA contemporary project. And did I do extensive thinking? Not really, but consideration has gone in, so check. But you know what else I have been thinking about? Rewrites. I think before I thought that my current draft of that project was ready for beta readers. I don't know, I'm not really in that place anymore. I've come up with a lot of ideas since then, and I think that one of my new goals for 2022 is to completely rewrite that project, maybe over the summer, and then focus on beta readers in the fall. That way, during school, I am not worried about actually writing a project. I'm putting it in the hands of other readers to critique, and then I can worry about their feedback after that semester. By the way, if that is something you're interested in, potentially being a beta reader for one of my projects, I would highly recommend that you hop on over to my website and subscribe to my newsletter, because my newsletter folks are going to get first dibs when it comes to beta reading when I start putting those feelers out. So if that's something that you want to be a part of, that is where it's at. Goal number 3, I set the bar pretty low for myself. I wanted to read 3 pleasure novels in those 3 months. And guys, I absolutely killed this goal. I mean, let's consult the list. I read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 books in 3 months, which is way more than I thought I would accomplish. She's good. Among them were Marissa Meyer's Heartless and both Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll, so I'm on a bit of an Alice in Wonderland kick and loving it. And goal number 4 was to finish Story Notebook Volume 12, which I did. It is done. And I even took a Bookstagramish pic of my new notebook, which you can see on my Instagram at Nikki Florica Writes, or you can just wait 5 seconds for me to drop it into this video. Voila. Obviously, the joy of finishing a notebook is that you can start another one. So I'm super excited to get into a new notebook and to hopefully blast through it in less than half a year. I feel like I've never gone through a notebook that fast, but I'd really like to. So that was my winter, and I mean, thank God, I think it was a really successful winter. I feel like he knew that I needed a little bit of a morale boost after my epic fail of a fall 2021. Just a reminder that, like, yes, I can do stuff, I can accomplish things with God's help. Just takes, like, discipline and maybe some not too lofty goals. Admittedly, I also think that I set the bar kind of low for myself. But by lowering my expectations, I ended up boosting my morale. So let's see if we can keep that momentum, the positive momentum going into spring. Spring goals 2022. I'm going to start with the loftiest one. I say we just finish Operation Fantasy Revamp. Like, no more messing around. Part 3 will soon be done. It was only going to be 4 parts. So I definitely think, especially once school's over, I have months of spring after school ends to work on this project. So to me, that means that I don't really have a valid excuse to not finish it, but you never really know what life will throw at you. So in the next video, if I'm making excuses, remind me of this, unless I make a really great excuse and then maybe let it slide. 2, I wanted to do more writing live streams. I did some of them last year and they were fun, but I stopped partly because of like internet and bandwidth problems and just environment problems. I didn't really have like a quiet place to do it. And also because I just kind of talked myself out of it, which is part of the reason why I want to get back into it. It is fun and it helps with productivity, but it's also just something that I don't want to let my fears stop me from doing. Don't want to let my fears conquer me. This is the year of pushing the boundaries. So, Lord willing, live streams coming this spring or summer, and I will be posting dates on Instagram, so if you want to stay tuned, that will probably be the place to look. And shout out to all of you who joined me on my sprints in the fall. It was awesome writing with you guys. Number 3 is reels. I would like to do more reels. I did one this past winter because I just wanted to go for it, and it was fun. It was like not as hard as I expected and enjoyable, so I'd like to do more of those. And finally, reading. I'm pushing this off until after school ends, which is in like 3 or 4 weeks. But after that is over, I'm gonna give myself a quota of 5 pleasure novels to read in the spring, which I'm a little nervous about because all the books that I want to read are like enormous, but I'm trying to preserve the integrity of my goal making by not making them too easy, so we're going with 5. And this last one's not a super concrete goal, but number 5, I guess, is to just establish a writing routine this spring. It's harder to be consistent with the puppy and with school and everything. I think that once school is over, I would really like to just have a routine and maybe track how much writing I actually do in a day, maybe in words or maybe in like hours, because I would really like to have a chunk of time that is just my writing time that I don't let anything else interfere with. And if I was a bullet journal gal, I would have an entire spread for tracking my writing, but I'm not a bullet journal gal. I've tried, and I do not have that kind of artistic patience. So I'll probably just end up writing it down in a notebook somewhere and then forgetting about it and ending up with like 3 days worth of data, if we're being perfectly honest and realistic with ourselves. That's a worst case scenario, but if I stick to it, I will end up with an actual log of how much time I write per day, which might motivate me to write more. I don't know. Do you guys do that? Do other people track their writing? How do you track your writing? And does it help you or does it just stress you out? I'd be curious to hear. So that is all from me. Thanks so much for watching this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to like and subscribe and comment below with any thoughts you might have or what your spring writing goals are. And as always, do not forget to spend some time in the clouds today.